Welcome back to Renegade Muscle. I am Jeff Roberts, and I am here as always with Lee Priest. What's up, Lee? You awake over there?
I was just clicking on the what should I look at? Best world news websites, the latest news in the USA Today, world news today, latest world breaking news today. Ooh.
Yeah.
Will it have? I'm guessing if I look at any of these, it won't have any of those fucking Antifa bastards going around hitting people in the back of their heads, will they?
What is Antifa? I don't even know what that was what that means. Is it an acronym?
Yeah, for dickheads.
Sounds about right.
You know, the ones that walk around with their masks on and sneak up behind people and sucker punch them in the back of the head and beat up old people because they're with the Biden group that's all about unity and peace and coming together and understanding and fighting for freedom of speech. But if you're a Trump supporter and you have freedom of speech, and it's funny, Biden and Kamala Harris, they never, look at this, I'm going to put some light on. Oh, there I am. They never come out and say Trump never denounces white supremacists. I don't see them denouncing the Antifa and the BLM groups that go around beating people up.
I mean, the truth, Trump did a lot of good things, actually. It's just the media's never going to let you.
I don't want to get you started so early, Jeff.
The media's never going to let you know about the good stuff that Trump has done, but
that's like
you know how that goes, Lee.
Trump.
There's a reason that you know more about our politics than I do.
What about the one where they say there is no substantiated evidence of voter fraud, and yet there's over 200 affidavits? They've got, what was it, Tucker Carlson was on TV the other day going through the list of people who he's like, such and such, say Dr. Michael Johnson was a heart surgeon. He loved his country and loved voting. He loved voting so much that he even voted 7 years later after his death because he wanted his vote to count. He was going through the list of people in all these different states that have been dead for years who voted and stuff. But
apparently they found like people, like they found a guy. I don't know if any of this is real, but apparently like in Michigan, where Scott's from, I heard that there was like more votes than there were registered voters by like 1 million. And then they found lots of sketchy shit. But who knows?
Because Michigan was one of those swing states you had to wait forever for them to count up the votes there in Pennsylvania and everywhere else. Who'd Scott vote for, by the way?
Who knows? Okay.
You didn't vote. Oh dear.
Who did you vote for, Lee? You didn't vote either, prick.
I can't, but I would have voted for Trump.
Yeah, I know.
Only not because, like I said, he's done a lot for the country, even though people don't want to admit it, but he has. The facts speak for themselves. But the only reason I wouldn't, like, if somebody else had ran for, instead of Joe, I might have went the other way if they had good policies and shit. I don't care about the person as long as they've got these good policies, which they never get passed anyway half the time. But the only reason I wouldn't vote for Biden was he's been there too long as it is, almost 50 years. He's done fuck all. He was vice president for 8 years. So what is it? This is what I want to know. The people that did vote for Biden, what is it that you're seeing him now that's all of a sudden like, holy fuck, he's going to make changes when he's been there for almost 50 fucking years? He was vice president for 8 years. He did nothing as vice president. So what makes you think, holy moly, the guy's fucking senile, but now he's going to make big changes?
If you think
the guy can't even change his fucking diaper.
Right.
He can't change.
If you think that guy is running the most influential country in the world, like, you're out of your mind. Like, he's just right. He's just like a very easy way for the people who do control things to control things.
Yeah, pretty much like that weekend at Bernie's. There's fucking Joe Biden, Bernie, and he's George Soros and the Rothschilds moving his fucking arm, waving to the crowd and talking. Oh.
Yeah, right. Something like that. Anyways,
here's some breaking news. Here's some breaking news for you. This will be me tomorrow. This could be my last show. I just want to say goodbye to everyone.
I was just bringing that up. What a segue. Down a little bit. Cervical disectomy.
That's where they go in. They go
I was
in
showing
through
my wife.
Going through the front of your neck there. And
this is obviously for your nerve issue.
So Yes. So I went to see him last week, and he goes, "How soon would you like it done?" I said, "How soon can you do it?" He goes, "Next Tuesday." I said, "Good." He goes, "You want it done that soon?" I said, "Mate, I've been uncomfortable. I haven't been able to train for 5.5 years. If you can get me in now before you go on Christmas holidays, because I figure if I can get in now and you got like 5-6 weeks recovery, that'll take me to almost next year rather than getting it done next year. Then you have to wait another bloody 5 or 6 weeks. Come next year, I'll be starting to get into the rehab side and stuff."
Right. What is he? Who is this guy?
His name's Peter. Do you know him?
No.
Then what's it matter who this fucking guy is? He's a surgeon.
I want to know, like, is he, like, how'd you find, like...
my good friend who's my general doctor, I asked him, and then when I saw this guy, he goes, "Why don't you have Dr. Furch do it? He's the one that did my first one that got infected and never worked." I said, "Well, he did a shit job the first time, and my good friend, he has like he's been a doctor forever, great guy, and he also has cosmetic clinics and that." I said, "He recommended you. That's why I came to see you." He goes, "Okay, I can do it next Tuesday." And I said, "Okay." He goes, if I never had that first surgery, he said he would have just replaced the whole disc, but he can't do that because I had that surgery already. And then there was another one where you see like your spine here.
Yeah.
They got another one where it's like titanium things like that, strips that go down each side and they drill it in. But he goes, they can be a problem because sometimes it makes people have a hard time swallowing. So he goes, this one, it goes in. It almost looks like it almost exactly looks like this. I'll show you. I'll pull this out. It almost looks like this. Where am I going with the camera? Here I am. It almost looks like that. Yeah. But it goes this way. So it looks like this. And on top, there's these two metal things that come this way and two that go down that way. Okay. And it goes in between the former space, and that's so the nerve's not crushed. And he's like, we can't guarantee anything. But he goes, I can guarantee if you don't get it done, nothing's going to change. I said, well, nothing's changed for 5.5 years, so let's just go ahead and do it.
What's the...
And he said, when I come out of it, he goes, your voice could change. I said, will it be deeper like Barry White? He goes, no, generally people's voice changes. Some goes permanent, some is just a little bit, but it's more like that. It's more like that. I said, how the hell can I call someone a cunt like that? You can't. It doesn't quite have the effect, does it?
Yeah, right.
You fucking asshole. I need, hello, Jeff, how are you? Very good, thank you.
Yeah, worse than that.
And then I figured, too, it might happen. My luck will come out and say, great news, Lee, great news. Your neck was a success. Only problem was I hit your spinal cord, now you can't walk, but your neck is fine. But then I thought that would be shitty, but then I figured to myself, you know what? One pair of shoes will fucking last me forever, wouldn't it?
It's true.
Hey.
Yeah, one pair of trousers, too.
The only thing I'd be worried about, I should have two pair of shoes, and just in case I have that moment where my foot falls off the wheelchair and I don't know and it's dragging along the ground.
Right.
So I'd have to replace that shoe. So especially have two.
You never know.
No, I could wear my toes down to the stump and not even know. Better get two steel cap shoes, didn't I?
Yeah, better get steel toes. Just think of that.
See,
what's the recovery like for this?
Cup's half full. You said like 5 to 6 weeks, but Lee, probably in 2
That's
weeks I'll be getting the rubber band out, going.
Yeah, come back. Yeah.
Where is it? Oh fucking hell! My triceps like Joe Biden that's lost its fucking memory. I'll call it the Biden effect.
Yeah. When they separate these pieces and it frees up the nerve, it heals.
And nerves grow back like a millimeter a fucking month.
Okay, so the nerve still has to grow back, and it's a slow process.
Yeah. And then once that's done, then I'll look into the stem cell because people say go get stem cell. I'm like, well, what's the point getting stem cell if the nerve's still crushed? There's no point injecting stem cells into it if it's still crushed in between the thing. It's not going to help it, is it? You got to fucking relieve it first, and then get all that shit in there.
Yeah. When is this? Pretty soon, right?
Tomorrow.
Damn.
So this could be the best podcast ever if it's my last one.
Yeah. The last sign of wheat priest.
To all my fans, I want to thank you very much, and to the ones I don't like, go fuck yourselves.
Yep.
Oh, here's a better picture of it here. Look, Lee, just turn the page and we can have a look. Your surgeon may use a cervical disc prosthesis to replace the removed disc. Sounds like I'm getting some sort of something done on my cervix, doesn't it?
It does, actually.
I haven't gone and made an appointment with the gynecologist.
Yeah, that'd be quite the fuck up.
This was the one he could have done, but he says that's the one that makes it hard to swallow. See that bracket one?
Oh, yeah, yep.
I think I'm going for this. I'm going for this model where they go in or something. Synthetic spacer or cage. And then this is where they incision here, where they slice my neck open.
Nice.
Probably hit the jugular. We have a bleed. We'll bleed out. A decision to have surgery. A neurosurgeon cannot guarantee that your surgery will meet your expectations. I'm going to be like, Jesus, mate, you put that thing in my neck and it didn't add any inches to my penis. What the fuck? I want a refund. Recovery.
What?
In the recovery area, discomfort in your arms and neck may remain for a few days due to swelling. Oh, thank you.
Well, lucky for you, you seem to have a pretty insane pain tolerance, based on what I've seen. You don't seem to be too bothered by pain.
No. The only good thing I like is when they put you to sleep, because the fun part, when the anesthetist comes in and gives you the stuff and you try and fight it. I'm not going. And they give you a bit more. You can't get me. Then all of a sudden you're like waking up. You're like, what happened? Did you get me?
Right.
I remember once I had my 4 wisdom teeth taken out at once, and I was at the dentist, and he gave me some stuff, to just relax you. Then he gets the mask, the gas to knock you out. Yeah. And I remember he's talking to me, and I'm talking away, and as he's talking, he's like, yeah.
Shut this guy up.
Yeah, he kept going. And when I went back a week later for my thing, he looks at me as soon as I walk in the room. He goes, man, I'm surprised you're not still asleep. He goes, I gave you enough to knock out an elephant. He goes, you wouldn't shut the fuck up. And that's what he said. And he goes, even when you're out of it, your tongue was still going like this in your mouth. The tongue was still moving around.
Still trying to talk.
He goes, I gave you enough to knock out an elephant. Then when you left here, you were walking down the hallway yelling out, you're Superman. I'm like, oh, I don't remember that. That would have been funny. I'd always film kids in the cars after they come out the dentist. Me going down the hallway saying, I'm Superman.
Yeah. So after the surgery...
but my mum's the same too. My mum's the same whenever I get put out. Like when I went to have that camera put down my neck, they couldn't put me out. They gave me 3 injections of this stuff, and they said, we can't give him any more. So normally I tell them, whatever you think you're going to give me a little bit more, because I really don't want to wake up during it.
Yeah. I'm like that with Novocaine at the dentist. They shoot me at the I've gotten like 8 shots of Novocaine in the same
I'm the same. I tell them the same, yeah.
Like my face will be numb, but I can still feel the truth that hurts.
The nerve, I can, yeah.
Like my whole face feels like rubber, but as soon as they blow air in there, it's like, and then you get queasy and end up fainting from all the Novocaine.
Well, that's like when I had my eye surgery done, when I had that hole in the eyelid, and they're doing that. They meant to knock me out, but I sort of kept waking up during it. And I started making a joke, and I think I shouldn't joke while he's in my eye there, because I remember talking about how if you fuck up, I'm going to be a fucking pirate and stuff like that. And the next thing, I must have went back to sleep, and then I sort of woke up again, because I remember looking at the light and started talking. And in my mind, I'm thinking, shut up, Lee. He's in your eye with these surgical tools, and he sort of giggles and, oh, that's funny.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the one joke I made about the pirate thing and that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, hopefully that goes...
sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Hopefully, when that goes well, we'll see you on stage again. The 2022 Olympia. 212 division.
Give an anesthesist a list of your medications. Oh, yes, of course. Smoking after surgery. Well, I don't smoke, so I don't have to worry about that, do I?
There you go.
It's very... Diagnosis. Yeah, we've been through that. Treatment options. Oh, candidates for a disectomy. If you're a short bodybuilder and you're fucked up. Oh, good. That's good. Signs of
don't get hooked on painkillers again, though. You end up drawn with the old women in fucking rehab again.
Yeah, I can make some money again. No, I'm not going to do that. Weakness or numbness in the arm, severe pain in the shoulder blade. Yeah, I got that. Other related chronic, yeah. Your medical, yeah, I cover all that, yeah. I just got to wait now for them to call me this afternoon and give me this is what time you got to stop eating. And don't you hate that? I always find at night time I can eat, and then I'm not hungry. But as soon as someone tells you can't eat after this time, I get fucking hungry after that time.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Like say they said you can't eat after 8. Hold on 1 second. They're actually calling now. Can you hold on? This is me going live. Hold on.
Look at this.
Hello? I'm back.
He's back.
No, I can't remember the address. They want me to go get some bloods taken too this afternoon. Fucking hell, why's everything got to be going on today?
All right.
Yes, yeah, so
where were we?
That was a lady I spoke to today. She wants me to go get some bloods taken.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Bloods.
Don't you love that? Especially, I don't mind. Have you ever had your bloods taken and you go in and someone can do it so easy you don't even feel it? Then you get the ones who go in and they dig around and you're just like, oof.
Yeah.
It's like,
like probably 19 out of 20 times they do a good job. But there's that 1 out of 20 where it's like, come on. And like anyone, I mean.
It makes up all the times that the others did good. I remember I went to hospital once. I was dehydrated. And instead of just going for the arm where you could still see one, she wanted to go for the hand.
Yeah.
Because it was that flat, she had like 5 goes. And I said, look, seriously, I don't mean to be rude, but if you miss again, I'm going to punch you. And for like 3 weeks later, this was before I had the tattoo, so you could have seen it easy, but my hand was about as dark as the tattoos for like 3 weeks from the bruising. And you know when your hand, how it's so sore it is when they dig around and shit like that? I'm like, so it's like
no it's just muscle and bone. There's no.
And then I think too, of course, after the third go, it made her nervous, so she's actually doing it even worse. So I'm like,
right.
So just take it out. Don't leave it in there and they start moving it around in there. And it's just like, that's even worse. Just take it out and try again.
I'll pass out if they fuck with it too much.
Yeah, I don't pass out. I remember some days when I'd give myself a shot of steroids. You know, I'd pull it out, a fucking blood would spurt out. It's like, give it to me. I generally hit a vein all the time just by accident. Give me the needle. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's no good.
I'll hit a blood vessel, no problem.
So, what do you think of James Hollingshead winning all these shows? You been following it?
Yeah. So his pictures look good. Look very good.
Yeah,
and then I just saw, didn't Regan win the Romanian one?
Did he?
Yeah, I think I just saw something up on RX. Regan Grimes wins the Romanian Pro.
That was this weekend, I guess, huh?
I'm gathering, Jeff. So
it must be, yeah.
I don't know who else was in it though. I don't know.
I saw pictures of that show.
Can James get? He can't do it. Can he get to the Olympia still with the lockdown in London yet? Or?
I think, from what I understand, they're still not sure, but I think he's chosen not to do the Olympia.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, but I mean, I guess.
Well, at least the good thing is winning the last shows qualified him for next year, so that was pretty smart. So.
Yeah, when he run the British qualified him apparently for the 2021.
Well, like I said, it would be good, but you wouldn't want to be prepping for a big show like the Olympia in the back of your mind. You're not sure whether you're going or not. Just that little bit of doubt would be like, oh fucking hell!
Right.
It's like it'd be hard to go balls to the wall, knowing what you got to do, and then have that little bit fuck. Imagine get the call last minute. You can't leave. You'd be like, oh fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how, like, especially a bodybuilding show, it seems like the worst thing that you could get ready for, not knowing if it's going to happen. Like those hungry nights and stuff. I don't know. But
my cat's going mad because I got the door shut. Poor thing.
That's okay.
I like to see. I can see where I am today. I can see Australia over your shoulder there, and you got it marked off. Thank you.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah,
there he is.
I'm in that circle somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, James is like a throwback to the fucking gnarly white guy physique. It's always nice to see a pale white dude like bring it together like that. It's kind of unusual.
He's got tan on. He's not too pale. You mean his photos in the gym where he's pale?
Yeah, I like those ones where he's in his undies.
The old the old Dorian socks and undies photos.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, apparently he's like basically shutting it down until next year. It sounds like he's going to have like a good off season and try to make similar progress that he did this time, and try to come back and win some more shows.
Probably the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
So about what is it? What's the Olympia now? Like the Olympia is about a month away.
Yeah,
December 15th or something. It's like mid-December.
Yeah. Almost a month then, yes.
How do you see that going?
It's funny though. It's weird. I don't know. It seems like since Flex Lewis dropped out, because I was really hoping to see him do really well.
It sucks.
It's not like I don't respect the guys in it, but okay, there's the Brandon going back, which is good because he looked good last year. But I don't know. It's hard. Like I said, I still like bodybuilding. But see, I've never liked competitions even when I was in it. I love the training side more than anything, rather than the competing. Whether it's me competing, I never liked, or me watching contests, I was never really like. When I was younger, I used to watch the Lee Haney type ones and stuff like that. But then as I got older, it's like even when I lived in America, if I wasn't really competing in a show, I'd just wait to find out the results online. I wouldn't sit there and watch it and go, "Oh, this is great, this is good." I'd just wait to the end and then just see some photos pop up. That's not meaning I don't respect everyone in and what they've been through. It's just not really like, I don't know. It's like if I even watched car racing, I love car racing, but when I was doing it, it was fun. But then occasionally I'd watch it, but I was just never really into it. Like I wouldn't, if I had something, like if the Olympia was going to be like it's going to be on live, if someone said, "Lee, would you like to go see this movie today? A new movie's coming out like James Bond," I'd go see the James Bond movie. Whereas there's people who are just like, "Fuck no, the Olympia's on. I'm sitting at home. I'm going to sit here and watch it." The hardcore. I'm not saying I'm not hardcore, but I said I'd be more like that with the training than actual just watching a contest. And I know it's good that Phil's coming. It's good that Phil's coming. I don't know. It's still like there was a lot of hype there for a second that Phil's coming back to battle Brandon and stuff like that. But now it just seems like it's gone quiet or something. It's like the hype's just, I don't know.
I think it's because Phil is not showing anything. Like Phil is not.
I think there's more hype about the strict arm curl contest still going online than there is the fucking Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, Phil is not being very like. I don't know. No one's seen any images or pictures or like he's had like a couple of videos where he has like a cut off shirt on, but you don't know what he looks like. It's hard to.
But you don't really need to see pics. He's not going to come back in bad shape, so it's pretty.
Definitely.
If he's coming back, he's going to come back looking pretty good. So
Yeah. Yeah, you have Phil. Imagine that you're not really into going back to what you were saying. Imagine you're not really into the competitions as much as like I'm the hardcore person. Like I'm the type of person who clears my schedule to watch the Olympia, but I was never there. I never.
You're that guy, are you? You're that
I'm
guy.
that guy. I never like, unless I had to work. That would be the only thing. Like if I got to work, I got to work. But
no, you'd probably even call in sick, wouldn't you?
No, I
can't, mate.
I can't call in sick.
Or would you have the computer set up at work just off to the side?
That is probably what I would do. That's probably what I would do actually. But you were there and doing it and experienced it all, so it's kind of like, I could see how you would be. It wouldn't be as exciting to you. It's kind of like,
it's like
you were like in the trenches.
Yeah, even when I went to the shows competing, because people ask me a lot of the time, "What's your favorite show you compete in?" I'm like, none really. They were all. I enjoyed it when I had to compete, but I said, if I had to go to the Olympia or to the Arnold, I was never competing that exciting. It was like going to the expo, just hanging out at the expo, meeting the fans. That's what I enjoyed. The competing side, like I said many times, you pretty much had to compete to keep your contract and stuff like that. But to me, the competing never motivated me, whatever. Because I said I just loved training, and competing, sadly, was something you had to do to come along with it to get your sponsorships and that. But me going to the expos, the years I didn't compete and just went to the expos, that's where I had the best time ever. Just standing at the expo, taking photos, talking to fans was the best part of it for me. So it was never the competing side. I couldn't care less. That's why I always love people go, "You're just a short midget that's upset he never won the Olympia." I'm like, I'm not one of these fucking losers on the internet that thinks they're going to be Mr. Olympia. I knew I'd never be Mr. Olympia. It's like, That's why you see in all those videos, I've mentioned it so many times. I'll be like, I'm training for 8th place. I'm training for this. And back then, if you made top 10, that qualified you for next year. So I was always happy to get in the top 10. I always said, look, 10th is good. If I get anything else, it's a bonus. So the few times I got 6th and that time 5th and then moved down. And the other time when I got 8th, I'm like, hey, I don't care. I'm qualified for next year. So I knew I was never going to win the Olympia. So these people say, you're just upset you never won it. I'm like, hey, I'm still here in the bodybuilding field. There's been lots of people who have won the Olympia and retired, and you don't hear of them anymore. I haven't been the IFBB since 2006, so here I am, motherfuckers.
Yeah, right.
Still annoying you. You silly bastards are still watching.
What year at the expo was like, were you most swamped at the expo? Like, what year were you getting the most, like, fanfare and the most girls coming up to the booth trying to suck your wee-wee?
I never had girls come up and approach me like that. I don't know, because I've always been... No, true, I never did. I'd always hear other guys doing it, but I'd have girls that come up and be friendly, or you have the girl to come up and go, I'm a big fan of yours. My husband thinks you're great. They were never just single girls, but no, I never had those stalky fans like that. They're always polite. And plus, too, I was just there to meet the fans. I think if you come across like being flirtatious or take it that way, but I was never looking for that. I was just like, there, hey, you go and take a photo, blah, 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 chit chat. Right. Whereas I'm sure if you had thrown out a few innuendos here maybe and sort of played into it type thing, but
you weren't looking for the signs and playing into it.
They might have been putting it down, but I wasn't picking it up. It was like, hey, I'm just here to meet the fans and go eat at the hotel later and watch TV in my hotel room. Because people are like, I never once, like when I was with MD, I went out for a couple of dinners after the expo one night and stuff. But generally, even when I guest pose, people are like, oh, you must get the pussy when you guest pose. And nope, promoter would be like, Lee, do you want to go somewhere? I'm like, no, I'm just going to eat in the hotel, watch movies that I've missed. And some of the promoters were always like, oh, thanks, Lee, that's great. He goes, we've had such and such here and that, and we have to take him to the strip clubs and hang out all night. He's like, oh, thanks, Lee. He goes, I can drop you back at the hotel and go home to my wife. Thank you. So they're always pretty happy that I was just laid back. And sometimes I thought they might have thought I was arrogant. It's like I wasn't like I didn't want to hang out with them, but I was just that type of person where I'd come hang out at the contest all day. I'd go to the pre-judging. A lot of times some pros wouldn't. They're like, what time do you want to pick up for the night show? I said, hey, look, I got no problem. I'll come to the pre-judging. Really? I said, well, you've paid me to be here. I'll be here for the whole show. What else am I going to do? Just sit in the hotel room and watch TV all morning? So I go hang out all day. Then at the end of the day, I just say, I'm happy now. You don't have to baby me or chauffeur me around anymore. I'm happy to go back to the hotel and just watch the movies on the TV and get room service. And that's what I enjoy doing. But I'm sure if you're looking for it, you could probably sit there and start hooking it up. Or if someone goes, can you sign that? You'd be like, okay, sure. Do you want my room number as well? And like, yeah. I'm sure you could do all that sort of bullshit if you wanted it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
it's funny how some
people... expos, I was always pretty swamped at the expos, no matter what year it was. So.
Right.
Always had the lines super long. So.
What's the last year you were at the expos? Like 2009?
No, I was at the Olympia Expo with Black Skull 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the line was all the way back going all the way
You and Shawn Ray.
Yeah. No, that was in Brazil. That was Brazil. Okay. It was me, Branch, and Flex at the Olympia Expo and that, yeah. And the Arnold, I think, But and that's the thing too. It's so funny because I love it when you're there. It's like you have this huge line, and I've always been the type. I'll have breakfast, and I won't eat again till dinner time. So even if I'm at the booth, it's like, look, I'm not going to try and eat because you try and eat, people want photos. Even if you go sit down somewhere. So at the Olympia, I'm standing there. Even if you go to the toilet, it's funny because I try and hold it as long as I can, and whoever's like helping me, they're like, okay, just wait a second. He's got to go to the toilet. You see the people in line go, I was like, well, fuck. It's like, excuse me, I do have to piss. And then this one time at the Olympia, last time I was there 2 years ago, I'm standing there. My friend Doc, who just passed away, he came over because I love those Lucky Charms. So he had those Lucky Charm bars. Have you had them?
Oh, yeah.
They're like the Rice Krispie bar with the marshmallow and Lucky Charms.
Yep.
He brought me one of them over and goes, here you go, eat this quickly. I'm okay, thanks. So I'm standing there just about to eat it, and the guy at the front of the line, he's like this. He looks over and he goes like this. I just held up the bar and I went, I'm just going to eat. He goes, okay. So I just started to eat it. Then I see him walk down to the front where the Black Skull guy is. He goes, can I get a picture with Lee? And I'm thinking, I just told you I'm just going to eat this. And he turns around, looks at me, and I said, I'm just eating this. And the guy from Black Skull goes, can you just give him 5 minutes? The guy goes, okay. He leaves to go for a black skull. He walks back near the line where everyone's lined up. He goes, "Don't ask him for a fucking picture. He's fucking eating." And then he walked off. I'm like, well, fuck. I'm like, fuck. Sorry, mate. It's like, I had breakfast at 6. It's now like 11:30. Sorry if I'm a little bit fucking hungry. And I didn't even leave the booth. I was just going to shove this bar down really quick to take the hunger pain away or so I don't fucking pass out. He asked me, and I said, wait 5 minutes, and he nodded. But then he walked up and asked the black skull guy. When he said, just wait 5 minutes, he got the shits and walks past everyone. Don't ask him for a fucking photo. He's eating. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Sorry.
Yeah.
How like rude of me.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you how dare you be a human being?
Yeah, Jesus.
But yeah, what were we talking about? The Olympia. Phil, Brandon, Bonac.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon and Bonac were 1 and 2. Then you had Phil's coming back. You have Dexter, who was 4th last year. Ruley was 5th last year. I don't know how much faith I have in Ruley, but Hottie was 3rd.
Ruley's pictures look good, but then he always looks good before the show, so I can't. And Hardy, didn't they say Hardy's having problems with his visa again?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would not be surprised. I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot. I don't know. I'm not up on the Hottie Chupin visa.
And I saw a video of Rami, and to me, Rami just 5 weeks out, it said Rami was posing. To me, he still looked big and full. And 5 weeks out, I'd prefer to see him a bit more ripped. But hey, I guess they know what they're doing. So
I don't think Rami is ever going to be what people want him to be. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it's like, okay, you're big, you come in full and big. If it's not working for you, try something different. People say, leave it is working for him. Well, he hasn't won yet, has he? So it's like, I can try something different.
I mean, if you look at him at the 2013 New York Pro, where he won, and Victor was coming back from his stint in prison or whatever, and Victor was small, I feel like, I don't know if that wasn't the best Rami we've ever seen, his pro debut. He was so fresh and clean, and his waist was tighter. He seemed more like, I don't know, his balance was better.
People are still arguing if he should have got the invite or not. Then I heard someone saying, well, he did get second runner-up in the Olympia. Yeah, that wasn't last year. That was the year before that or whatever. So
yeah,
it doesn't carry over. Just because you get second once, that doesn't give you the right to carry on forever.
I think they're just a little bit not desperate, but they want people there,
Well, they should have.
You've already lost Shawn.
They should have just opened it up to everyone this year. I reckon, okay, yes, normally there's a qualification we understand for the people that compete, and then the ones that couldn't, because there's a few guys who were coming to Australia who couldn't qualify in that, So there was, a few people missed out. So I think they should have just had maybe like a name in the hat type draw for 5 extra people,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could do like
cause
you could do like
year,
15 max competitors, and then do like you got to send in for an application or something. Yeah,
and then put them into a hat and pull out 5 names, because this year, Jeff, as you know, as that word dictates, we're living in unprecedented times.
Yeah,
and in these unprecedented times, they should have had an unprecedented qualification for the Olympia.
Yeah, the unprecedented times on the TV, on your TV. Everywhere else, the times are as they've always been, to be clear. But
what do you think? You Holocaust denier, you?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I think I'm most excited to see Phil. Honestly, I just think. You have Steve.
I think, like I said, having that time off, and how people have been talking. Like I said. You're either going to see Phil at his very best or how he's looked before when he's won. I don't think he's going to come in looking. We're not going to see Phil looking any worse than we think we've seen him before. Some years people like he won, then the next year they're like, well, he wasn't as good as he was last time. So the worst Phil we've seen, I don't think we're ever going to, which isn't really in standard to anyone else, isn't bad. But if you're going to compare him to his very best, people say, oh, he's not at his best, but he still looked good. So.
Yeah.
Where we've seen him looking not as good, he's not going to look any worse than that. So, I think I think we'll probably, like I said, having the time off and having something to prove, I'm hoping and thinking we're probably going to see the best Phil we've seen. So
that would be awesome.
That's right. And if that's the case, no one's going to beat him. So
no way. The thing about Phil,
even though Brandon's looking great, Brandon looks like he's put a bit more size on, and
mm-hmm.
he's going to give him a good thing. And depending on his conditioning, but still, I think Phil's just going to outdo him with the maturity and the roundness and that look. So.
Yeah, I think I'm expecting maybe Phil to come in like a little bit smaller, but just granite hard, like harder than any of those other guys.
I don't even think he'll come in small. I think he's going to come in really full and round and
just
hard. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing about Phil too, like people,
the illusion will be. Sorry to cut you off, but I think the illusion's going to be too is because we haven't seen him last year and the year before. When you see someone year after year, sort of go, yeah, yes. It looks the same. And of course, he's had that thing when he walks out. It's almost going to seem like a brand new car again. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, look at that. It's like that show where here's your car, but then Foos takes it away and does it up and brings your car back, and you're like, holy shit! Even though it's the same car. It looks totally different. So I think that's how Phil's gone into Pimp My Ride. And when Phil comes out after Pimp My Ride, it's going to be a whole new Phil.
Yeah. I think it's true. I think people forget how good Phil is. People forget about how, like, his roundness and separation and insertions and stuff is, like, almost like something we've never seen before. He just has such crazy muscle that I think people have kind of forgotten about it. And you're probably right. When he comes out and like you instantly get reminded of that like action figure that he is, it's going to be like, oh, fuck, Phil is back,
It's almost going to be like, even though you've seen him, it's almost going to be like seeing him for the first time again. And especially if he comes out the best you've ever seen him, you'll be like, holy shit, So
yeah, it's going to be, if he comes out like if he comes out the best we've seen him, it's going to be. They might do the first call out and send him back in line like they did in 2013.
Yeah, I think they could do that, but I think they'll keep him out there just for the entertainment purposes.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too. Taking nothing away from Brandon, taking nothing away from Bonac or Ruley, but when you shove Phil in between them, it's almost like, here's Phil 3D on what's that new high def? They've gone even higher now with that
4K.
But I think it's 4K. But now there's the one used to be 1080, whatever. Now it's even gone fucking through the stratosphere. It would be almost like everybody else is on, let's just say the high definition, and now he's on that OLED screen, whatever.
Yeah.
When you go to a TV shop and they've got the same picture, and you keep looking at the other TV, you're like, it's the same picture, but this one almost looks like I can put my hand in. It's like, wow. Yeah. It's like, that's how it's almost like. It's almost like, that's how it's going to look when Phil stands beside him. It's like, yes, they're incredible, but I think somehow when Phil's there, you're going to keep going, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, the way his, like, I don't know, his, like, the glute ham tie-in is just so, it's so, like, sharp. I don't know. I don't know. Picturing him and Brandon Curry doing, like, a back double by or any back shot, it just seems like Brandon Curry is good. It's going to be hard for him to stand next to Phil from the rear.
Yeah, but I think, too, it's not even the posing. When Phil stands there, it's like Paul Dillette was that way. Some people said I was that way, too. It's like if you've got that fullness in the shoulder and your biceps complete and your forearms complete and your tricep, you can see it when you're standing front on. You can still see the tricep coming out as diamonds and that. Like I said, even looking front on, it looks like you got that 3D look before you even pose, whereas some guys look freaky standing front on, but Phil has that look. Even looking at him front on, he has that depth to him where someone like they don't even. Back in the old days, you had Nimrod King and Phil Hill and those type of people where before they even pose, they just look freaky standing there without even hitting a shot. So
yeah, that way Phil comes out like pumping his arms and shit. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I think Brandon is pretty much a lock for either he repeats or he's second to Phil. I don't think Bonac or Dexter is going to get him.
I could safely say if Brandon's in top shape, he'll push Phil depending on how Phil looks. If Phil's the best we've ever seen him, it's his. If he's not and Brandon's up, I think it's going to be a good toss-up. It's going to come down to close. But, I can't see really even Bonac looking good and Ruley. I still, like I said, Ruley's big and freaky and stuff. But even like I said, if Rami's there in shape, I still prefer Brandon's look and Phil's look. Because like I said, Rami's got huge body parts. Yes, he's big and freaky. We've seen that. But yet when he stands beside someone who's got nicer shape and that, like the Phil or Brandon and that, they just seem to flow better. Whereas, okay, yes, if it was just a big mass show, fucking Rami would win hand over fist over anyone. Same as if that was the case, Marcus Rule should have won every fucking pro show and shit like that. But people, that's not what it's about. You got to have the whole complete thing. And sometimes I've seen so many big guys who are just big and freaky get blown away by a smaller guy who is just put together and balanced with conditioning, just looks better overall.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I've lost a little bit of faith in Rami. He's always going to be in the mix because he's such a freak. But man, every time he comes in, it's the same story, and it's like people. I don't know. Well, like Chad, he's working with Chad Nichols now. I think he was for the Arnold. Like I don't know if he's still with him, but hopefully Chad can pull a rabbit out of the hat with him. What do you think about the Son of Legends, Sergio and Hunter? Who do you have between Sergio and Hunter?
Well, I've never seen them stand side by side yet, so it's hard to say.
Sergio's like a larger man because I think Sergio's like 270 on stage or something.
Yeah, I don't know their weights, but yeah, I wouldn't like to say because, like I said, in pictures and when Hunter competed, he looks great, and Sergio looks great when he competes. So one of those you'd actually need to see them side by side.
Yeah, hopefully they have a comparison. That would be cool.
I like to see them side by side, and then someone get the comparison of, just even though they weren't on stage together, then Labrada and Sergio Senior together, and have them go pose for pose. Lee and his father, and Sergio and his father pose for pose,
Right. That would be cool. I love watching those two guys. That's awesome.
We can get Arnold's son and Louis' son, and we can.
Yeah. What about Nathan Diasha and Steve Kuklo?
Those two together.
That's a good one.
I'd put, from seeing pictures of Steve looking his best and Nathan, I'd probably go Nathan.
Yeah. Yeah, Nathan is freaky. And Nathan's one of these guys, too, who, like, barely does cardio. He's a freak.
Yeah, I definitely put, like, Steve has, great shape and symmetry and stuff, but so does Nathan. I just think Nathan has more of that fullness and freakiness to his chest and arms and quads and that. So definitely give it to Nathan out of those two.
I imagine Steve was way more impressive in real life.
Yeah.
Given that he's a pale white guy and he's like fucking giant,
Yeah, but like I said, he's got a great frame in that. But still, if we're gonna, Nathan.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Ruley, like we talked about. That's pretty much Dexter. I mean, Dexter.
But Nathan's not doing the show though, is he?
Is he not doing it? I wasn't sure. I wrote him down, but I wasn't sure.
No, I don't think he's. Last video I saw, he was still in England and he was arguing with the police because he's keeping his gym open and they keep coming around.
Those are awesome videos. He's a fucking man. Everyone go follow Nathan Diasha and watch him. Like whatever you want to call it, take on.
Well, at least, like I said, he's just being polite to him. So he's just saying, "Look, I want to keep the gym open for my members and stuff. If you got to fine me, fine me." He's not out there, He's being polite. He's not out there. Fuck you, get rid of me now.
Right. Let's see what we got. So we got. No, I wanted to ask you about this. What do you think about the whole Shawn Ray commentating and petition thing? You up on this?
I did see it, and then I saw. I didn't see the whole video, but I did see I know Dave and Chris Aceto talked about, he did an interview with Jake Wood or something, Shawn Ray did, and Jake Wood asked him, why do people hate you? And he just went into a whole spiel about COVID and this and that and everything else that had nothing to do, didn't answer the question. People thought that Jake Wood was going to fire him on the spot or do something. So I haven't watched the interview, but I reckon Jake Wood didn't seem happy or whatever, but it's like, look, people are going to say, okay, you can have your opinion, which is good. But, I have my opinion on people too. Some people don't like it. But, see, I'm never serious. I just do it for fun, joke around. If I say something about someone, they get upset. It's like, hey, I'm joking, all right? It's like anyone that's on the Olympia stage has my respect. I can't talk about, you said he was this. I said, look, I'm having a fucking joke. Lighten up, for God's sakes. It's like, I'm not. But whereas Shawn seems to get into the nitty gritty, but then Shawn, like I said, people have brought up how he brings in their personal life and shit like that. It's like, what's that got to do with the contest, whether he's having problems at home or they've broken up or this or that or whatever's going on? Because, as I say about people living in glass houses when it comes to Shawn, when it comes to personal life and people doing whatever, this and that, whether it be cheating, whatever, Shawn should zip his fucking lip. So, yeah, but, you know, I just find Shawn's like, yeah, he can give a thing, you know. Okay, if someone's got something bad, okay, point it out. Okay, maybe he's got weak calves or this, or his back's a bit weak. But then, you know, you can also point out all the great points as well. Don't just harp on the one thing and go, well, his back's weak, it's pretty soft. That's probably because he was out late night cheating. I heard he's cheating on his wife. So, you know, cheating on your wife does bring your back conditioning down when you're out cheating.
This guy's going through a divorce right now, and he's really depressed.
And then his back is good, but you know, if you remember me from the '96 Olympia that I probably should have won, my back was the best then. And you know, if this guy was competing against me, he wouldn't. He always comes in the fucking conversation all the time, but I don't know. It's like they need the.
I don't understand.
Like I said, you can critique someone, but then, like I said, people always get mad at me if I say stuff, but you have to understand when I say it, I'm joking around, just fooling around. If someone said, Lee, be totally serious, it's like I get a lot of things sometimes too saying they love this podcast between me and you because on here, I'm totally different to when I'm Batman on the RX show and shit like that, see? So it's like, I can change the feeling. If someone said, Lee, can you do a proper Olympia thing? Sure, I could. If they wanted me to do it serious, I could do it. But it's like, you know, generally I prefer to be the jokester and just be the lighter side, which these days, Jeff, you can't do that. People get upset. But
they sure do.
I could easily critique people and be honest about it and not joke around. But, you know, I think Shawn just goes a little bit too far. It's just like, and then he harps on it. It's like, have you seen the Chris Cormier documentary?
No, but I have to. I have to see it.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've put up there as one of the best. Those people who did his are actually going to redo mine and do mine.
Nice. So, that'd be awesome.
What the hell
I heard it
was
very good.
Redo mine. They're going to redo mine, do mine. Was that an echo? Fucking. Yeah, it was really good. I put it up there. But even on that one, Shawn goes into the whole, I was laughing with Chris about it when I watched it. I said, you know what, that's really great because it goes all through the whole thing, the competing, when he had his injuries, his partying side, his wild side, his drug side. But it seemed to be every time they asked Shawn, that's all Shawn harped on about was, well, you know, if you're going to take drugs and do this and do that and party and blah, that's the only thing that, you know, it's almost like, well, when you watch it, you let me know what you think, but it's almost like if you had a friend and the cops come along, he would throw you under the bus as a fucking informant. That's what it fucking seemed like through the whole fucking thing. Shawn was just fucking throwing him under the bus on every little fucking aspect of fucking.
In the documentary?
Yeah.
That's fucked. Yeah, I don't look. What is the thing? What is the deal with Shawn Ray? Like, why does he have to do the commentary? It like the live streams are bad enough with like most of the time they don't have like they don't run super smoothly for the first like first off. Then you have sour Shawn Ray like with his commentary that nobody seems to like. I mean, there was this huge outrage about it. Like I just don't know why he has to be the one that does it. The other thing too that drives me nuts is like you have the Olympia like our webcast. It's a fucking bot. All that matters is like that fucking camera view.
Oh yeah.
Like why does the camera view go from the side and then behind them?
I hate
like,
that.
What are you doing? Like aren't you in control of that? Like why don't you just put it from the front? One camera.
I don't mind the side and back if that's when they're walking out or changing and that, but when they're actually hitting their shots, just stay. Oh, this is what I hate too. When they go front double bicep, but the camera's panning up from the calves, and by the time the camera gets up to their bicep, they're finishing the pose.
Right.
Or it's like front lat spread, and there's 3 guys or 4 guys in the lineup front lat spread, and the camera's on Phil, and then it comes across to this guy, and then the pose is over. It's like keep the camera back at a good angle where they've got the 4 guys in frame, so we can see the comparisons.
One camera.
Know? If you want, once they're out doing their single routine and doing their single posing, then if you want to get a bit fancy, fine. But when the comparisons are out there, and say it is like Ruley, Phil, Brandon, and Bonac, and those 3 are in a lineup, and it goes front double bicep, the camera starts on Phil. By the time they get to Brandon, front lat spread, we don't see the other 2 doing their bicep shot, so you don't see the comparison. So I was like, what the fuck happened? Or then, too, when they come out to do their routine, And then fucking Shawn just talks whole way through the routine over the music. It's like, just shut up. Okay, give a quick, okay, he's coming out looking good. Maybe a bit here, a bit there, but don't talk over the whole thing. Just rah, 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 rah. It's like,
right.
Yes.
The camera thing drives me nuts. Like, it's always been like that. There's
always.
no way that's a difficult thing to fix. I mean, could it?
I remember even,
what the fuck?
There's one of those motivation ones of me, I think, from the 97, and I'm going up into that pose, and the camera's on my calves coming up, and by the time it hits there, I'm bringing my arms down. It's like people love the lift pose, but you don't see it.
Right. It's silly. I don't get it.
All we saw was Lee's calves and cock. We missed the fucking arms up in the air. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
Oh, but just some of the weirdest, and like you said, people who do that, you think they would have been in the sport for long enough to know these are the shots we got to get,
right.
It's like,
yeah.
And pretty much,
I feel like it would be eeasier, right, to just put one camera, like, on the stage, so you can see like 7 guys or so.
Yeah. Whatever, however they pull out 5, 7, 4, just set that one camera front on and leave it there during the comparisons. Yeah. You don't need to change it because the guys will stand there. They'll turn side on. They'll turn to the back. You don't need to zoom in on them. Zoom in on them when they're doing their own individual stuff on their bicep, their quad, whatever. Do it then. But when they're out there doing the comparisons, you want to see the comparison. Like I said, they'll show you 1 or 2 of them panning the camera along, but then you don't see the other person compared to them because, okay, now back in line, you're like, oh, thank.
Right.
I wait for the photo then to come out.
Honestly, like, back to the commentary and Shawn Ray. Honestly, I liked when your buddy Bob Chick did it. I thought Bob did a pretty good job at the commentary.
Well, I think one of the best is Lonnie Tepper because Lonnie Tepper knows 100%. A lot of the background. He goes into it. He has nicknames for it.
When it was Lonnie and Bob, I thought it was like really good. And one year they had, it might have been an Arnold. They had Palumbo. They had Dave Palumbo, Chad Nichols, and somebody else, some other like guru guy, and that was really good too. That commentary was phenomenal. But now, like, they just shove Shawn Ray on there. He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Well, like, I've always said you could have like you said, have like a Bob or a Lonnie Tepper, the ones that know the background, know their names, know this, know that, and then just have like someone who's like, you always have that one guy who's into it. And he's like the statistician that knows everything back and this and that, or even like a head judge. Someone like Weinberger or someone who can actually explain, okay, this is what they're looking for. This is what this guy could have over this guy, who's explaining the whole judging criteria, even if it goes to the women, because a lot of people get confused there. Or someone says, well, this girl looks better than that one, but then they can explain, well, in this category, this girl's a little bit too hard. This is why this girl's getting more looks because she's a bit softer. Exactly. So you could have a top judge like that. So you could have the statistician, have a top judge. You could have someone that just loves bodybuilding. And then me, the comic relief for when it gets sort of boring.
There you go. There you go. It'd be perfect.
So if you had like 3 or 4, because you watch that in football and stuff, you have a lot of guys there, statisticians. You have the ex-player of the game or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you'll have someone there who's always in Australia anyway. You always have the guy there who's done it too, but he's also almost sort of the funny one who'll throw in the funny little things that make you laugh and then sort of thing. So you need that sort of balance of.
Yeah, you have like the play-by-play guy who's like explaining what's happening. Then you have the commentator guy who's like kind of funny and telling like background on people and stuff. Like the one guy you could have, like you said, one person could be just explaining what's going on, basically, like step by step, who looks like what and why they're where they are. Then the other person could be talking about like, oh, Lee is whatever, like Lee's known for his arms. Look at whatever. Like they could be like a pro, like you said, a pro that could be tell stories and be funny and make it entertaining. While there's like a judge, being more. That's how most sports are done.
Maybe like like I remember when on the Arnold Classics there was Frank Zane, Mike Matarazzo, and I forget who the guy was. He was like a guy from ESPN, one of the commentators from ESPN, and they're all having their say. And Frank's being like, look at Lee's tremendous arms, blah, 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 blah. And Matarazzo's like, oh, yeah, this guy's freaky. And boy, can he eat. When we went out eating, he just waffled this food down. He doesn't care how he looks in the off-season. And then the other guy would made him laugh. And then the other guy from ESPN would jump in and be more technical. And then Frank Zane would say something too. And then He's like, oh, yeah, Lee's looking great. You know, he's doing this. And Michael Mallory goes, oh, yeah, that's one thing I love about Lee. He marches to the beat of his own drum. He doesn't care how he looks in the off season, but look at him today. So it had that nice balance where Mike was still giving things, but he'll also, like you say, he'll say, like, oh, when we're on, Lee would do this and make a little funny thing, and then it would go back to the serious type. So it was a nice balance of the whole lot.
Right. Yeah, that would be awesome. It would be so much better than just Shawn Ray. Like, even if you put someone with Shawn Ray to, like, take the edge off of his, like, just negativity avalanche, like if you, even if it was Bob Ciccarillo and Shawn Ray, you're buddies. You know what I mean? Like, you like, that would be even a lot better than the way it is. Just having Shawn there, like, people have spoken.
Maybe it's just Shawn. He's got those glasses on. He can't see what's fucking happening. That could be the problem.
He's just guessing. He's just guessing that everyone sucks.
They all look really shit today. They're very smooth. Shawn, you got your fucking Oakleys on. He's a Ray-Ban cunt.
All right, listener questions. Ready?
Yeah.
R. Brett 96. Did Lee ever meet Sergio Oliva Sr., I'm assuming?
Yes.
And or any stories?
No. Just met him at an expo and had a chat, then got a photo, and that was it.
That's it? How old were you at the time?
The first time I can't remember. I know the second time could have been towards the end where, I don't want to say he was forgetful, but then it was like, because the first time I met him, he was like, oh, yeah. And that we spoke because he's like, oh, doing the pose. He sort of knew all about that, you know, the comparisons of the myth pose and stuff like that. So that was nice. But then the second or the last time I met him could have been towards the end, because then when I went up to get a picture, he just looked at me blank faced and goes, and yes, you are, and your name. So it was just, you could tell. It was like that. So, yeah, but no, he's always nice and stuff. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I always like watching the old Olympias with him, even when I used to have it on VHS tape when, you know, his last one, when he did bring his son up on stage, and I'll always be forever the myth or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. First, second, 10th place. It doesn't matter. And he had his son on stage. So.
Sergio Jr. said that Sergio, like, his father never dieted. Like, never died. He ate burgers up until the show. He said that he didn't really diet. And even when he made his comeback, whenever that was, like in the 80s, wasn't in the 80s when he made the comeback?
Yeah, it's in the 80s, yeah. Can't remember what year, 80 something, yeah.
He said even then he didn't really diet for that show. And by then everyone was like, you know, everyone was dieting and had like protocols at that point, and he wasn't able to. If he actually took it as serious as some of the other guys were, like took a more modern approach, he may have done well.
Yeah.
I wrote an article once about, I ranked, like, my personal opinion, like, top 10 most genetically gifted bodybuilders, and I had Sergio Sr. as number one.
Yeah.
I believe. I don't know if anyone's been that gifted before or since.
Did you have Serge Nubret?
Serge Nubret? I didn't have Serge on there, no. But
heard you have Flex Wheeler?
I don't know if I had Flex Wheeler on there. I had you on there.
Oh, thank you.
You were like fourth, I think.
Fourth. What happened to third? I hope where'd you go? Going back to Lee when he was 13 years old, you could see he was genetically gifted, winning shows at 13.
Yeah.
Did you say for a pasty white guy at 13, he looks very good?
So the ninth best genetically gifted bodybuilder I put was Phil Heath. 8th, I put Dexter. 7th, I put Kevin. 6th, I put yourself. 5th, I put Ronnie.
You're going to upset people. What? Putting Lee over Dexter or Kevin? What did you base it on? Just like from the young age, as a young kid, teenage, all the way through, or?
Yeah, like for you, I said, like you're a team better. Like I said, you were arguably the greatest team bodybuilder of all time.
You'll have to put a link to this article now, because people are going to go read it and they're going to go, "You're a fucking idiot. How could you put this person?"
Yeah, I put Ronnie Coleman 5th, so Ronnie Coleman right ahead of you.
How could you put Ronnie 5th? What are you talking about? Shawn Ray not knowing what he's talking about? What?
Here's Flex Wheeler 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I put Rami third, Lee Haney second, and Sergio first. Lee Haney's genetics, I think, are underrated. That guy
Now,
retired with
tell
just
people
30.
what they can tell people where they can go read that and your explanations to why, and then you can get all the.
You have to go on ironmagazine.com and you have to search that bad boy. But I have it here.
Yeah, so go read it all and read why he did that. Then send all your hate mail to Jeff.
Yeah, send all the hate mail. I wrote that like years ago, and even I don't agree with it. So Jesus.
Well, I like just going back over that list. I was the token white guy you put on there. Thanks, Jeff.
You were the only white guy. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know who I put 10th? I put Durham Charles 10th.
Durham had a good physique.
Well, Durham was apparently Durham turned pro natural.
Mm-hmm.
He never did cardio. He was like just one of those freaky guys, you know.
Now you're gonna have to update your list now and do a new one.
I know. I should do a new one. It'll be fun. Borges John 16 asks, "What's a typical relaxing day for Lee look like?" Unwinding day. Sleeping?
Well, relaxing. So even if I do like my boxing training for cardio, I find that relaxing. So it's hard, when you say
He's
relaxing.
a pretty good boxer, actually.
And it's hard to say if I do that, I find it relaxing, or even I don't like it, but even if I do the bike for cardio and I'm talking live on Instagram, I find that relaxing.
Yeah.
Even though people go, "Why are you so angry?" I'm like, "That's how I am. I'm being funny. Just go with it." It's not that serious, people.
Yeah.
But normally, just sitting back watching TV or finding some movie to watch. I watched that movie last night, Greenland, with Gerard Butler. It wasn't too bad.
Okay.
About like all these meteors coming down to Earth and going to destroy the Earth, and these people get chosen to be taken to Greenland where they could be safe in a bunker.
Huh.
Yeah, but normally just watching TV, chilling out, or just going for a drive, or just I'm a homebody. I'm not one of these people. My friends hate it. You want to go for lunch? No. How about we go out and eat later? No, I just stay home. They must just think I hate them and don't want to go out. But
yeah,
my wife and I just happy to stay at home with the cats and just watch TV and chill out.
Right. Yeah. It's funny how some people, like you were talking about when you would go guest pose, like some people, like Chris Cormier, from what I understand, he couldn't stand not going out. Where or I'm like that too. Like I would, like movies and food in the hotel sounds so much better than the club to me. Like it's not a hard decision. But some people are like so far the other way.
I'd go out if it was like, say I'm in a place that has a lot of history or something. If I had to go to Egypt or somewhere to guest pose or something like that, I'd be like, okay, well, while we're doing nothing, I'd stay an extra day or two and go see the pyramids, or if it's in China, go see the Great Wall of China or stuff like that. I'd make time to go do things like that. But as far as the party inside and just going to the gym, I go, you know what? I go to the gym all the time. I can go to a gym anywhere. If you want me to come to your gym and take a few photos, sure, I'll do that, meet some of the fans, but I don't want to train. Once I've done that, let's go see some castle somewhere or go do something like that. I'd rather do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you see when you went over there to Europe? The airport, a gym, hotel. The same as you see in every country. Yeah. I'd rather go see something of, like I said, historical value than just seeing the same old crap all the time.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Because there's some places I've been where you are in and out, and that's all you do see, the airport, the hotel, and the venue. And as I sit in the room, I'm like, sometimes hotel rooms have those books on the city or around the area.
Yeah,
I look through it and go, oh, fuck, that'd be good to go see that. Oh, I'd love to go see that. I'd love to go see that, but you never do.
Right.
So I tried. If it is a place of interest where I've gone, and the promoter says, what would you like to do? And I say, look, well, rather than come back, book my ticket an extra day, and I'll stay an extra day and just go do some sightseeing. So I'd rather do that.
What is the most memorable place you ever went to? Could be a good or bad reason. Whatever is the most, memorable. Like the last one you would forget.
I remember going to North Dakota in the middle of winter time, and it was fucking wind chill. It was very cold.
Oh, really?
I remember going down south in the middle of summer and stepping outside and just sweating from the humidity. But no, I think, like when we went on the European tour, I loved Budapest. It was nice, and Prague, just like those old historic buildings and stuff like that. And England, I always liked the history of England. So I'd say places, like I said, places that have history and stuff to it like that. I remember I went to guest pose in Japan once, and they took us out, and then there was this big, near Nagoya, I don't know what it is, but there was like a castle on the hill that this samurai built, like a nice big castle you can see. But all the stuff to build it back then, he just walked all the stuff up there. There was like, no roads and shit or stuff like that. Just you know, when you're building something up there, there's no cranes and shit back in the day. So things like that. So I remember.
It probably took them like 500 years to build it or some crazy shit. They used to build stuff for like such long periods of time.
Yeah, that would suck too, wouldn't it? Because it's like, even when you see Mount Rushmore, or even that new one they're building, is it of Sitting Bull? Is it Sitting Bull, the new one they're building on the Rock Monument, where he's on the horse with his arms stretched out?
I'm not sure.
Why do you not know this?
What are you talking about?
You know how they got Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
Do you have your phone there?
I know what Mount Rushmore is.
Yeah, well, Google Sitting Bull Monument. Go on. And the guy that started this is dead now, and his son's taken over. So it's like, here's this big thing he's building. I mean, it's massive. When you see how it's going to look when it's finished, I think it's Sitting Bull with his horse, and he's got his arms stretched out. It's in like a big rock monument.
Oh, it's a Native American thing?
Yes. Have a look. You got it?
Sitting Bull Monument.
Yeah, look at the pictures there.
South Dakota?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Look at the images of that thing. Look how massive it is.
Which one is it? Is it like the tower or the guy's face in the rock?
Face in the rock, and then there's going to be a horse out in front of him, and he's got his arms stretched out with the horse.
Holy shit.
You got
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a little...
Look how massive that is. If you look at different images, it's got his face is like 20 stories high or even bigger. And I think the guy's father or grandfather started that, and they've passed on, and it's still going. I think it's still got so many, 20 more, I don't know how many more years it's got to do to get the horse complete. Have you see how it's going to look, though? And then you see what's there at the moment. And things like that are incredible. It's like, wow.
It looks like this.
Yeah, that's his face.
And then, like, the horse head will be, like, right here.
Yeah, and that bit going across with the hole underneath, that's going to be his arm.
Yeah.
I think there is a diagram of how it's going to look completed.
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's...
if you read it, just to see how long it's taken just to do that bit, it's like...
But to give the face, like, some scale, there's a bunch of people standing next to it.
Yeah, look at that.
It's fucking massive. It's like a 4-story building.
Mm-hmm. Even bigger.
No, probably more. Probably like a fucking... Yeah.
But you'd have to look into it. Does say how long it's taken to get to that part, and the guy that started it, he's passed on. So I often wonder, when you start that, but you never see it, you're not going to see it complete. And then, like I said, I think his son now and his family have all taken over doing it. And but when you see it complete with the horse and that's going to be incredible. Yeah.
It's crazy the shit they do. I like the shows about the old shit that's really large.
Yeah. But imagine doing that, though, just having that vision to go, okay, this is where his face is and his nose is. And like I said, put one bit of dynamite or something in the wrong spot. Oh, fuck, we lost his nose. Now what do we do? Yeah. Find another mountain. We've got to start again. It's like, imagine if you're doing the horse. Because the horse, when you see that complete picture, if, Scott can put a complete picture up on when it comes out, the horse has got its legs out like that, and the horse's mane and the horse's face. Yeah. Imagine putting the wrong thing in the wrong spot, and that bit that's meant to be the horse's foot fucking snaps off, or then it's just like you mix up the whole thing, and then like to chisel out and do all that stuff to make it look like that. Like it's like those people that do those huge ice sculptors and stuff like that. I'm like, how the fuck do you have that vision to know you can see it? Then you got to know what bits to cut out and what bits to leave. Because I said you cut the wrong bit out, you're like, oh shit, we've just lost the horse's nostril. We can't go back now. Once the rock's gone, you can't put the mountain back. Get some fucking paper mache from down there. They won't notice. Just fucking plaster it up.
I wonder how they chisel it out. Like it's on such a large scale. Because it's really detailed, but it's fucking massive.
And the thing is, too, when you're that close to it, you're like doing this. All you see is this. You've got to go way, way back to actually see it in scale. It's like, it makes you, like you said, it's like those things where they talk about the aliens we mentioned before, where you can't see it from the ground. You can only see it from up in the air.
Yeah.
So how the hell do you know what you're doing on the ground to make this big sculpture when the only way you can see it is from up in the air?
You'd have to almost have somebody like 100 yards back, and then you're working on it face to face, and they're like giving you updates on like where to carve or something.
But even like the ones that are like on the ground, you know, like those sculptures that are flat on the ground with all those diagrams. It's like, how do you see that? Because it's flat on the ground. You can only see it from an aerial shot. It's like, how the fuck did they get that so intricately done? It's like,
right. Yeah, you have to ask your buddy with the crazy hair from the bodybuilding shows.
Oh yeah, Giorgio,
yeah. I started watching after we talked.
They put him on a big kite and fly him up high. Go a bit to the left, a bit to the right.
yeah.
Oh, you watched Giorgio, did you? With his hair, it's like, woo.
Yeah, it's got to be extraterrestrials. Yeah.
Yes, you wouldn't believe he was a bodybuilding promoter, would you?
I had no idea. That's actually pretty good trivia. I had no idea. That show is okay, but it's a little bit, I don't know. Mainstream shows are all just like, they're a little bit out there. Let's see. PDS Printing, he's back. PDS Printing asks, do you train, basically he's asking, like, if a muscle is still sore, like if you train chest and your chest is still sore, but your chest day has come up, will you train a sore muscle group, or will you let it recover until it stops?
As long as it's not to the sore to the point you can't train it properly. But like they've done the studies, if you believe the studies, but they reckon 72 hours you're pretty good to go again. And I know Arnold and them used to do chest sometimes every second or third day. So it's going to come down to your preference. You know, if you can train it good, like soreness is good. If it's an injury soreness, no. But if it's just like, it's sore from training, yes, I would, but I might not do the same stuff. Whereas if to get that soreness, all you did was heavy pressing, if it's chest day again that's sore, I might do more contractions type stuff like pec deck, cable flies, dumbbell flies, just more of the squeezing type movements rather than the heavy pressing type stuff again. So
yeah, right. That makes sense.
And that's the same for any body part. If my legs were sore and I got sore legs from doing heavy leg press, heavy squats and that, next leg workout, if they're still a bit sore, I might just do extensions and lunges and those type of exercises.
Okay. Harley, my buddy Harley asks, actually Harley was here, we were working out in my basement, and I have
you and Harley in the basement.
You're not going to get the details, so you don't get excited.
Oh, damn it. Send me the pics later.
So back here, I have the, I could probably show you actually. You see the box of DVDs right there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So
Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah, Debbie Does Dallas is buried in there somewhere, but
I like the pipe. I like the pipes above your head. I hope one busts.
Yeah, I hope not. What was I saying? I had the stack of like old school bodybuilding DVDs that I have, and I was showing them to him like in the middle of our workout, and he's like, oh, these are fucking cool. And I was like, you could put one on if you want. So I was like, which one do you want to put on? He's like, put on Lee's. I haven't seen much footage of Lee when he was younger. So I put on, it was Another Blonde Myth.
Okay.
And he was really digging your like 2000s gym attire. Like you had a fucking, like
the flannel.
Yes, the flannel. Like that like whitish blue flannel you were rocking in the gym. That was the good days.
Hey, that's where I was posing out the back of World Gym, and that wasn't it, that one?
Yeah. Well, that when you have when you have the flannel, it's one of the ones where you go and you pose in the bathroom with Five Jacket Mike.
Oh yeah. That one Another Blonde Myth starts off with the wedding, doesn't it?
The wedding with Kathy, yep.
He's probably like, what the fuck's this? What the fuck you put on here?
Yeah. I had to fast forward through the wedding. Yeah, but he asked, if you could be any animal for one day, what would it be and why? Or what would you be and why?
Any animal. don't know. It'd probably be a choice of two if I could be an animal. I couldn't pick one. So I'd like to be a real big fucking gorilla and just go ripping trees out the ground and run around beating my fucking chest and shit.
Yeah.
Or just like a lion where I had that scene out of fucking The Lion King. I just stand up on the fucking rock and fucking roar.
Yeah.
There's my two animals.
I'm the
just
king.
standing there. Yeah, standing there on top of the rock, just looking over the pride and all the fucking other animals. Or just like I said, when you see those gorillas, because they're so fucking massive and shit, just pulling fucking shit out the ground and run. Blah, 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 blah. And they're fucking quick too. You seen those things? They just stand there all of a sudden. They're fucking coming at you. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be a toss-up. I'd have to flip a coin between a lion and a gorilla.
Right.
And what's that say about me, my personality? I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm not sure. You're probably destructive.
I'm destructive now, and then I like to stand on top of a rock and look at my destruction.
look at your fucking whatever you would call it, your domain. I think I'd want to be one of the, like a dolphin or an orca, just to see how smart they are.
A dolphin, yeah, dolphins, yeah, and orcas.
Because I'd like to know, like, how smart they really are. Like, are they having like intelligent dialogue or what?
What about a great white?
They'd be cool, but like, I don't know. I guess you go around like fucking whacking shit in the ocean, but.
What about a goldfish, just to see if it's true? If you do go around the bowl once, you go, oh look, house. Oh look, a house.
Do you really believe that all the plastic is actually plants and shit? Yeah.
Oh look, a new plant. Then you go around the bowl again. Oh look, another new plant.
Well, the question would be, the question would be,
how did I know a goldfish has a memory like that? That's how I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. So let's say you were a lion, would you be like Lee? Would it be Lee's brain in a lion, or would you like have to take the lion's brain for the day and be like a fucking, you know what I'm saying?
I'd probably be the lion's brain, because then you got that, like, because they think different, because he's more about dominance. He's the number one. He's, got to be the leader of the pack, and if any other lion comes in, he's got to fight them to keep them away, because these are his lionesses over here, so he's got to. Yeah, so you probably have that lion's brain where he's the alpha and everyone else is beneath him.
Right.
Otherwise you wouldn't survive. If it was just me, I'd be standing. If it was Lee's brain in a lion and I'm standing up on top of fucking Pride Rock and I look down and I see the fucking whoever coming along, I'd be looking down going, hey, did you hear the one about the monkey and the gorilla went into a cage together? They're like, oh, that fucking idiot, he's telling jokes again. He's no fucking king. He's a prankster.
Probably wouldn't do too good with a human brain and a lion body.
Yeah. Looking down there at the elephant. Hey, yeah. Fat cunt. What are you doing?
Are you fat cunt?
Did he call me fat?
Yeah.
Is Lee the lion fat shaming me? I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but but see, this is why I do think this comes under some scrutiny here. If people want to look into it and debate it, this would be a good debate with the goldfish, where they say they got no memory and they go around and go around. I remember having goldfish and fish in general, and you get your little flaky things and you feed them.
Yeah.
Like this. Every time I went to feed them and I picked that thing up and come near the bowl, they'd fucking go crazy and start coming to the top. So they must have knew, like your dog or your cat, when you go to feed them and you get the food out, or they fucking go nuts.
Yeah.
Ask me if I'm wrong, people. If you got fish in your duties, but it always happened. I'd pick up the thing to go feed them, and they'd fucking start swimming and go crazy and come into the top like bloop, 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 ready for the little flakes to come in. So
absolutely.
If they couldn't remember, why would they know what I was doing?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I do have a fish. I have one fish right now, and it's like
and
you can walk across.
When you're gonna feed him?
Yeah, fuck yeah. You can walk across the room, and the fish will, like, if it's hungry and you're nearby the tank and you walk by, a lot of times the fish will, like, come to the side of the tank that you're on and, like, do this with his mouth and swim really hard and shit, like you're saying. Yeah, but like if I go stand near the tank and reach under it for the food, he comes to the.
It's like he gets excited like a dog or a cat when you go to feed him. When you said my cat's here, as soon as I get or anything that sounds like the bag of cat dry food I get out. If I get out a packet of chips, they fucking go, oh, fucking going to feed us again.
Yeah.
Plus my cats do eat potato chips. I don't know how they got hooked on them. But anything is like, anything they hear that rattle, they're row. So I think this theory about fish not remembering is bullshit. Until it comes to those fuckers when you go fishing and they get the fucking hook in their mouth, you throw them back and they get hooked again. Like, then you fucking learn the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they get it from.
Well, I heard one time that fish, like some fish, like one eye sees with like this eye sees with this side of the brain and this eye sees with this side of the brain. So if they see something from this side and then they see it from this side a little while later, they don't remember it because they just saw it with the one eye. That could be complete bullshit, but I remember hearing that like back when I was into fishing, like fucking 20 years ago.
And what happens if they finally see it from both sides? Then they remember?
Yeah, I guess so. Then they remember all the way around.
Hey, do you think we could get a government grant for the study of goldfish? Look, I've seen people get grants for hundreds of thousands of dollars for fucking bullshit. So I think we can look into getting free government money to study goldfish.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of the goldfish that people release? And like if you release them in the right like part of...
Is that when they get really big?
The right climate, they get fucking huge and they screw up the ecosystem. Yeah. Yeah. They get massive and it's like very, very fat. Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to the top of Australia there where you can see it on the map, the top of Australia up the top there. They get like up there in the Gulf area and around the pointy part. Up there, they get those saltwater crocodiles that get like fucking 20 feet long or bigger.
You're Cohen?
Cairns and town up there, yeah. Yeah, they're all around there, even over Darwin side a bit more where it says Darwin on the flat bit.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's almost like where the Philippines just fell out of the middle there, didn't it? The country above us. It fits in there nicely.
Yeah.
And New Zealand broke off the side and Tasmania. But up there, they get those 20-foot long fucking salt crocodiles. If you go, it says no swimming on the beach because you'll see them on the beach or, you normally see a shark in the water. You see these fucking saltwater crocodiles at the beach. I'd love to get some from up there and bring them down here just so I could watch the surfers really fucking get fucked up where I live. You weren't expecting that, were you, dickhead? Huh?
No.
Any sharks today and this big fucking croc just comes out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Or if you go to Africa somewhere over there and bring back fucking piranhas and just put into ocean bars so we could watch the kids have fun when they go for a swim. Mummy, the fish are biting.
Here it is.
Why do I think of stuff like that? It'd just be so much fun.
There's the Congo right there. You get some fucking you get some piranhas in that bad boy.
Yeah, well, even where I live here, where we have these like nice freshwater lakes, just release some crocodiles in there. So next time someone's out fucking, just skiing on his skis and he falls off, he's going to get a surprise.
Is it like Florida there, where like any body of water, you're at risk of getting whacked by a crocodile?
Certain areas around where I am, you won't get one, but no. But that's why I'd like to bring some down because I think it'd be more sportsmanship for these people to actually have a challenge.
Yeah, it's
anyone can ski in a river without Crocs. Add some Crocs to it, and it just ups the ante of how bad you want to go skiing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
motivation.
I'll go with you with this. Right. So
you watch how good your balance is on a board if you see a shark circling.
Oh man, that's the spot, Australia. You guys have all the fucking man-killing animals. Don't you have to spray around your house to like keep spiders away?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I did that the other day because summertime's coming and they start coming out. Then the other day we had a lot of rain again, and when the rain comes, sometimes the funnel webs come out. If you leave your shoes outside, you better shake your shoe out because they might go into your shoe, and then you put your foot in and
then what?
I bite your fucking toe, maybe, won't it? You'll
find out. But does it cause any like? It just hurts, or does it cause any like bad reaction?
Yeah, like probably once it bites you, if you don't get help, you get like this bad reaction called rigor mortis. It'll fucking kill you, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's about, dead's dead. It's like, hey, Sally, Dad got badly burnt. How burnt was he? Well, they don't fuck around at the crematorium. That type of problem, Jeff. Yeah. If the if the funnel web gets you, yes, it can kill you. Just down an hour from me, we have the reptile park, and they're like the only place in Australia that gets the funnel webs, and they have to milk them to make the anti-venom. So they do tell people if you find them, try get them safely and take them down there so they can milk them for the anti-venom.
Yeah. So do you think, what do you think about the Trump-Biden thing? Do you think, I think it's funny how people think Biden's the president and he's not?
No, that's right. Still going on, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. But the media will tell you he's the president.
Yes, and Donald hasn't conceded, and then there's and this is the thing I hate too, because Trump said they stole the election. I was like, how he should not say that. He's inciting violence. I don't see the Trump fans going out there inciting violence or anything, but then they replayed when Hillary lost, and Hillary's saying Trump stole the election, blah, blah. Everyone said the same shit, but no one said shit about it. As soon as Trump says it, he's a sore loser, blah, 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 blah.
Of course.
Gore said it with Bush, or Bush said it with Gore that time. They had that big recount, and then Bush won. Yeah, so it's like, was that with the hanging chads that time, was it? Or
I'm not sure. I remember it being like Florida was the state that everyone was talking about.
And like Trump got more votes this time than he ever got before. The only thing I don't believe is someone like Biden, who's been there so long and is vice president, I don't believe he got that many votes. And I don't believe when Barack Obama first ran for president, being the first black president ever, he got a stack of votes. I do not believe old Biden got millions more votes than Obama ever got the first time he ran for president.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Calling bullshit on that one. Biden doesn't have that many family members, that's for sure.
Some people here that follow it pretty closely, like people who, it depends. You have the Kool-Aid drinkers who believe everything they see, and then you have the people who follow it like with an open mind and read every source of information. Those people, a lot of them, I've heard not a lot. I've heard some people who are really confident that Trump will end up back in the presidency once everything unravels.
Well, let's just say, even if it's not rigged, with the way they did it, saying, let's COVID all these mail-in votes, there's sworn affidavits they saw cheating going on. They've got tons of people with things saying we've got people who are dead that are voters, so that's just there. But then the main thing was you have California, you have these huge states that all got their votes counted and stuff like that. Then you had these states, the swing states, like Pennsylvania, Arizona, Vegas, the ones that if you win them pretty much decides who's going to be president. They're the ones that took forever. They're the ones where you saw Trump was ahead in one state by 200,000. A day later, he wins that state. Somewhere like Pennsylvania where he's up 700,000 votes. Hold on, we'll stop counting tonight. Next day, Biden's closing in. Day later, Biden. Like, how can you be that far ahead? And then Biden, or every mail-in vote was for Biden? I don't believe it. So, even if there's no shittiness going on, they've made it look like it's pretty fucking rigged.
What are the chances that it comes down to the swing states and all of them take forever to count? Like, it's like watching reality television when like the things go wrong at the perfect time to make it a good episode. You know what I mean?
And what are the odds all those mail-in votes were for Biden? I think one, they had 150 mail-in votes, and they said they're all Biden. You mean out of 150,000 people, there wasn't 2 fucking Trump votes in there? Come on, It's like, fuck me. It'd be like getting the coin, as someone said, and flipping a coin, and 150,000 times it comes up heads every time. It ain't gonna fucking happen.
I think they overdid it. But
did you notice the way they did it too? It's like, I didn't understand, because some states, there's like different laws, so it makes it even more bullshit, that they could count the mail-in votes earlier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the other ones they couldn't. So they had the pure count. So they had the mail-in ones counted. So then the ones that voted on that day, they counted theirs, and this was the score. Whereas the other ones where they've counted them, okay, the ones that voted on the day got counted. Okay, Trump's 700,000 ahead, and we've still got a few more to count. But they're the states that almost look like, okay, let's count these ones. All right, now how many does Biden need? 200,000. Okay, we've got to count the mail-in ones. And they count some, Henry, we've got now 140,000. Okay, stop counting. We'll count the rest tomorrow. How many more do we need? Another 60,000. Okay, I'll find another 60,000. It's almost like they knew how many they needed to just keep fucking adding to get him to get Biden over the top. Whereas if they just had said, listen, these voting count stops down. You had that one guy, he did an interview, work for some postal place. He's given a sworn affidavit. He blacked out his face. He gave the postal master's name, whoever ran the postal thing, and he gave a sworn affidavit that the ones that came in late, he was ordered to stamp them the date deferred and then just send them out, even though they came in after the cutoff date. So when you have irregularities like that, it just, like I said, even if nothing was wrong, that just puts that doubt in your mind. So I was like, it's like, but either way, like I said,
if you were here,
Trump or Biden, doesn't matter. They're only figureheads, as we said. So, and really, the average person like you or anybody else, Biden or Trump in, you still got to go to work the next day. You still got to pay your fucking bills. Not much is going to change. You're going to get the red light on the way to fucking work every now and then. So who gives a shit?
Yeah. Unless Trump was trying to like really fix things, you know what I mean? But that's what some people think. That's why some people think that Trump is trying to like reconfigure how things have always been done, and you know how things are done.
And they don't like change.
Some people say that's why despite Trump being by all accounts a pretty fucking good president, that's why the media is so horrendous to him, is because he's trying to change the status quo
from day one.
Yeah. So like,
and that's why I watched that thing that's on Amazon. I watched it yesterday, that the plot against the president, and that pretty much starts from when he became president all the way through with all the bullshit with the Russian collusion, who started that, who was being paid to do that. When that General Flynn he was like one of the top fucking 3-star generals, and he knew all his information, and he hated the CIA, the FBI and shit. He was going to start getting rid of fucking different branches of that. They didn't like it. Obama tells Trump, don't hire this guy. Trump's like, wonder why not? I'll hire him. And then they started this whole bullshit thing against him, saying he was in cahoots with whatever, causing treason. It's a very good documentary. Then they had Trump Jr. on there, and how all these people are going after their families and shit. It's just like, and then it was proven that the whole Russian thing was bullshit, but it shows you who started it, who was the gain from it, and what was the happen and shit. So it's a very interesting documentary called The Plot Against the President.
Yeah, it's funny because here, I don't know how it is there, if there's even do people fight about Trump and Biden there in Australia?
They discuss it because, yes, we get it on the news a lot, yes, and then they even
on
their morning news. Where the fuck do
you get our news? It's so weird. We don't get yours.
We get our news, but then
it's so clear that the people that run America are trying to run Australia as well.
Oh, yeah, it's all combined. It's like that Rupert Murdoch from Australia that owns the media. He owns half all the media, I think, in America, that Rupert Murdoch. He's Australian guy, so.
It's the same in Canada and shit.
And then they'll bring on some legal expert. We have our legal analysis here, and he's going to talk about the Trump thing that's going on, blah, 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 blah.
But what I was saying is the Trump, like, going into the election, most places here, the Trump support was, like, significantly greater than the Biden support. Like, there were Trump rallies. I saw a bunch of Trump rallies, and I live in New York. Like, not New York City, thank God. I would kill myself if I lived in New York City. But this state, like, the Electoral College basically makes voting in New York worthless. Because if you want Trump to win, if you're a Trump voter, you may as well stay home because you live in New York State. But the Trump support was like massive, and the Biden support was essentially non-existent. And then Biden wins by a fucking landslide. It's like, wait a minute. You know, it's almost like you said. It's almost like they jimmied it too much.
Yeah,
and they gave themselves away.
We did the mail-in vote because it's for people who don't want to go out for COVID. But these people went to the grocery store. Majority of Biden supporters are out fucking protesting and rioting, so they can go out and do all that shit, but they couldn't go out and fucking vote. But once they did fill out the form, they still had to go out and mail it, so why couldn't you go out and vote on the day? None of it made sense. And I always like to, it's funny when you see a state, pick a random one, fucking North Carolina, that took forever to fucking get the numbers in. You'll see the whole state, and in the state, say there's 100 counties. Every one of them is red apart from one's blue, and Biden has the lead. I'm thinking, okay, this is probably a heavy populated area, the blue thing, but how can Trump have the majority of the state, and this one blue square puts Biden over the fucking top.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fishy shit.
Only 2 people live in every other fucking county, but
yeah, right.
20 million live in this one.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Just as the days went on counting, it just seemed to be like, how many more do we need? Okay. Yeah, Tom, we need another 50,000. Can you bring in another 50,000 mail-in votes for Biden, please? Thank you.
Yeah. How much is there a lot of backlash over the lockdown there? Like, isn't there a lot of Australians that are like pissed off at the government for being so restrictive?
A lot of it's been lifted now. Finally, in Melbourne, they can open the gyms and shit, but they're restricted to how many people you can have. People from New South Wales, where I live, still can't go into Queensland, but they'll let, sports stars, movie stars. But the average person, if you want to go see a dying father, you couldn't go see him. And now we have the state of origin. It's like a big football game. Queensland is a state, and so is New South Wales, where they have football matches. The final game's on this week, and the Premier, she's going against all the doctors have said, look, it's okay, open the borders, but she won't because she has it in for the New South Wales Premier. But now she's saying, it just so happens this Wednesday when the last game's on, I'm lifting restrictions, the stadium can be full.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense stupid. Where they say you can have thousands here, but you can have thousands here. Even at one game, you can have 30,000 at this game, but you can't have more than 10 people in the gym. And the wife and I went to McDonald's yesterday, and we're laughing because here's the big fucking counter at McDonald's, and I swear the girl behind the counter is standing behind this 3 foot by 3 foot plexiglass with a thing in the window, and she's talking to everyone around the side, passing their orders. I said, what? COVID just hits this plexiglass screen. And the thing is, too, is like my wife said, for something that's meant to be hygienic, it's got finger marks all over it. It looks like it's got spit stains on it. It looks like a Petri dish sitting on the counter.
Yeah.
But it's like, COVID can't go around, or it can't go through that hole where you pass your money and card through. I'm like, just take the fucking thing down, for God's sakes.
Like I told you here, they just made it so the gyms have to close at 10. Like the reason the rules are so stupid and unreasonable is because they're not designed to stop the spread of a virus. They're designed to make it seem like we're stopping the spread of a virus. The virus doesn't need to the new thing is 80-year-olds getting it and not getting any symptoms. Like now, I hear firsthand stories from people every day about my 79-year-old dad tested positive for COVID, and he didn't even have a sniffle. My 85-year-old grandma and 86-year-old grandfather both got COVID, and neither of them had any symptoms. Like, it's not even making old people sick anymore. Like a virus does as it spreads through the population.
To me, I believe personally it's been here for fucking ever, just that we never tested for it before. Someone's went, hey, wait a minute, here's this new disease, let's test for it. Everyone's got it. And just like the flu, a lot of people can have the flu, it affects some worse than others. You can get that bad flu, and the flu can kill tons of people, which it does.
Yeah,
so to
my
me,
buddy got meningitis and it almost killed him, and he's a young, healthy kid.
I think it's always been here. They just never tested for it, and now they've found it. And I think it's like anything else. It's going to be here like the flu and the common cold forever. You just need to learn to deal with it and live with it, because it's not going to go away. You can't keep shutting society down and destroying incomes and livelihoods every time. Wait a minute, more than 100 people have it. Let's shut down again. Let's, stop. You can't. It's just fucking ridiculous.
They're also making people.
Well, look at Trump when Trump got it.
Yeah,
when
it's fine.
How many times did Pelosi and all those Democrats? He's fat, he's unhealthy, eats McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. He got it, and 3 days later, he's fucking fine. He's 74.
Yeah, well.
He's in that age bracket of, be careful, it can kill you. Yeah. And Trump's like, I feel better than ever.
Yeah. Well, what they're doing now is they're so if you test positive for COVID, even if you have no symptoms, which most people have little to no symptoms now, it's basically a symptomless. It seems like a nearly symptomless virus at this point. Mm-hmm. And but if you test positive for COVID, the doctors are like highly recommending that you go to the hospital. So now you can get on the news and say there's this many positive tests and there's this many hospitalizations. What people watching their fucking stupid TV in their living room don't understand is the overwhelming majority of those hospitalizations are people who are not sick. They're just positive. You know what I mean? But when people watch their TV and they think, oh my God, all these people are going to the hospital, like, and then you go out in the real world and it's like, everything is fucking normal. Everything is fucking normal. There's ancient people getting COVID right now and it's barely doing anything to them. Like there's nothing left to worry about. But
that's what I say. That's what
makes a good distraction, doesn't it?
That's what makes me laugh. That the disease is that deadly. You don't even know you got it. You got to go get told you fucking got it. It's that deadly.
Right. Yeah, you have to convince the public there's a pandemic going on. They're going through them.
It's like a magician. Look over here while I'm just fucking. Keep looking.
Yeah. They do it well.
They have done this very well.
Yeah. All right, Lee. Better wrap it up there before I rant about COVID for an hour.
Before Jeff loses his shit. You could even have it and not even know. Go get tested so we can know if you got it. Because I want you to come on next time and say, you know what, Lee, I fucking got it, but I feel great.
Yeah, I've probably had it twice already. All I do is handle money all day.
Yeah, well, you probably would have. Oh, that's a sniffle. Fuck, you got it.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't smell anything.
Okay, you're dead. You're gonna die.
All right, everyone. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. We're working on a couple more guests. That was pretty cool with Ron. It went well, so I think we're gonna. I'm gonna try to get some more guests on.
I think we mentioned too. I'll get Chris. Chris should come on. I'll send him a message.
Yeah, I shot him a message.
Okay. Well, I'll send him one, and then he can come on and I'm sure he pretty will. As long as we give him enough notice, he'll come on because he can talk about his movie. You should watch the movie. Watch the movie before we bring him on, and then you can, because you'll enjoy it.
Where can I watch it? On YouTube?
I don't fucking know where it is. It's on one of those. Find it. Yeah, we'll just fuck it. I think there's a link. If you go to his Instagram page, he's been putting up a few things lately, and it says you can go click on.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find it.
All right.
And then you can tell me what you think of Shawn's commentary on it.
Ugh.
Oh, you sniffed again. I know. Fuck, you're coming down
money.
with it, mate.
It's probably that rail I did before the show.
That's it. fucking Scarface.
Yeah. All right. For Lee Priest, I'm Jeff Roberts. Renegade Muscle, episode 11. And we are out. See you later, everybody.
Hooroo.